Have you ever looked at your bank account and wondered, how am I working this hard and still feeling financially stuck? Maybe you pay your bills on time. Maybe you're trying to save. Maybe you're even earning more than you did a few years ago. And yet, you still feel stressed. You still worry about money. You still feel like you're one unexpected expense away from a financial setback. If that sounds familiar, I want you to hear something that might change the way you think about your finances. You may not be bad with money. You may simply be financially overwhelmed. And there's a huge difference. For years, many people have been told that financial success comes down to discipline, budgeting, and working harder. And while those things matter, they're only part of the story. Because when financial stress becomes constant, it doesn't just affect your wallet. It affects your brain. It affects your emotions. It affects your decisions. And sometimes, without realizing it, it traps you in a cycle that becomes harder and harder to escape. In this video, we're going to explore the hidden psychological side of money. We'll talk about why financial stress can make smart people make poor decisions. Why so many Americans feel trapped living paycheck to paycheck. And most importantly, what practical steps you can take to regain control, reduce financial anxiety, and start moving toward a healthier financial future. So if you've ever felt guilty about money, ashamed of your debt, afraid to look at your bank balance, or simply exhausted from carrying financial pressure every day, stay with me until the end. Because this conversation may help you understand that the problem isn't who you are. The problem may be what financial stress has been doing to your mind. A quick disclaimer. Before we begin, I want to be transparent. I'm not a financial advisor, investment professional, accountant, or licensed financial consultant. Everything shared in this video is based on personal learning, research, reading, and educational sources related to personal finance, investing, financial psychology, and wealth building. My goal is simply to share what I've learned along the way in the hope that it helps you make more informed financial decisions. Always do your own research and consider seeking professional advice when making important financial decisions. With that said, let's get started. When it comes to investing in personal finance, numbers and data usually take center stage, often overshadowing the crucial role that psychology plays in the decisions we make. But the truth is, you can't ignore the impact that emotions and cognitive biases have on your financial outcomes. That's why understanding the powerful connection between your mind and your money is essential for any American who wants to achieve long-term financial goals. Once you recognize and reduce these common biases, you begin making better informed decisions and improve your financial well-being in a lasting way. The reality is that money causes stress for almost everyone. For some people, a healthy level of financial anxiety can actually help them make smart decisions. For others, that same stress can lead to poor financial choices. If you truly want to protect and grow your wealth, you need to pay attention to how everyday stress affects your ability to think clearly and make sound financial decisions. Let's talk about the emotions that money often brings to the surface. Thinking about money is almost always emotional. You may feel guilty about spending money, even when you can comfortably afford it. Or you may feel guilty about seeking financial help, even when you genuinely need it. Maybe you're afraid to check your bank account balance or have a conversation with your bank. Some people even feel ashamed when they need support. But it's important to remember this. Everyone deserves the opportunity to live with dignity and have access to basic necessities like food, shelter, and security. Seeking financial assistance is often a smart and responsible way to make sure those needs are met. Stress can also show up when you're under constant pressure to support yourself and the people who depend on you. It can appear when you're trying to navigate the complex financial and benefit systems that many Americans face every day. In many cases, you may simply feel exhausted, worn down, especially if you've been dealing with financial struggles for a long time. And if you've experienced financial abuse or manipulation in the past, there's no doubt that it can shape the way you view money today. The first step toward changing your relationship with money is recognizing these emotions and understanding that they influence, and sometimes distort, your financial decisions. Because until you understand what's happening in your mind, it's difficult to change what happens in your bank account. In today's fast-paced world, financial uncertainty has become a common challenge for millions of Americans. Whether it's volatile markets, unexpected expenses, rising grocery bills, or the impact of inflation on everyday necessities, the stress associated with financial instability can take a serious toll on your mental health. But did you know that it can also physically affect your brain? Understanding this impact is the first step toward realizing that brain training is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to maintain mental well-being and make smarter financial decisions. When you face financial uncertainty, your body activates its stress response and releases cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. In the short term, cortisol serves an important purpose. It helps you react to immediate challenges. But prolonged exposure, caused by months or even years of financial instability, can have harmful effects on your brain. One of the most significant consequences is impaired cognitive function. Financial stress can literally interfere with your ability to make sound decisions. The prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for complex thinking and rational decision-making, is particularly vulnerable to chronic stress. Your memory can suffer as well. The hippocampus, the region of the brain associated with learning and memory formation, can shrink under prolonged stress, leading to difficulties with memory retention and learning new information. Emotional regulation is another area that pays a heavy price. Elevated stress levels can trigger anxiety and depression. The amygdala, the brain's emotional processing center, becomes more active, making it harder to control emotional reactions. The result? Mood swings, irritability, emotional outbursts. All of which can damage not only your finances but also your relationships. The effects of financial stress don't stop with your mind. They affect your body too. Many people develop sleep disorders, which further worsen cognitive performance. Ongoing stress can also contribute to high blood pressure, heart disease, and a weakened immune system. In other words, money, or the lack of it, can literally make you sick. Given these powerful effects, protecting your cognitive and emotional health becomes essential. And that's where brain training comes in. Regular mental exercises improve cognitive flexibility, allowing you to adapt more effectively to new financial challenges. Enhanced problem-solving skills make it easier to navigate financial decisions and handle uncertainty with greater confidence. Emotional stability is another major benefit. Practices such as mindfulness and meditation can lower stress levels and improve your ability to regulate emotions. Brain training can also sharpen focus and concentration, helping you remain calm during financial turbulence, whether it's a market downturn or an unexpected bill. In the long run, brain training matters because your brain has an incredible ability known as neuroplasticity. This means it can reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. Brain training supports this natural process, helping to interrupt persistent patterns of stress and unhealthy thinking. The best part? Incorporating brain training habits into your daily routine doesn't require a lot of time or money. Practicing mindfulness meditation for just a few minutes a day can reduce stress and improve focus. Regular physical activity also supports brain health by increasing blood flow and stimulating the release of growth factors that promote healthy neural function. Financial uncertainty is an unavoidable part of life, especially when it comes to investing, building wealth, and planning for the future. But its impact on your brain doesn't have to be debilitating. By recognizing the effects of financial stress and incorporating small brain training habits into your routine, you can build resilience, improve cognitive performance, and maintain emotional stability. In today's fast-moving world, training your brain is no longer a luxury. It's an essential practice for creating a healthier, more balanced financial life. Before we move on, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by money, you're not alone. And if this video is helping you see your financial challenges from a new perspective, take a moment to subscribe to my wealth guide. Because building wealth isn't just about understanding money. It's about understanding the mind that makes every financial decision. Let's continue. Before we continue, take a moment to think about this. If your paycheck stopped arriving tomorrow, how long could your current savings support your lifestyle? A week? A month? 6 months? Your answer may reveal more about your financial health than your income ever could. When most people think about living paycheck to paycheck, they picture families struggling to cover basic expenses on modest incomes. But financial planners say this problem is increasingly affecting high-income earners across the United States as well. The truth is that earning a large salary does not automatically translate into financial security. Many well-paid professionals increase their spending as their income rises, or save inconsistently without a clear plan, until high fixed expenses eventually take control. The problem is that these fixed costs, such as mortgages, car payments, and private school tuition, leave very little flexibility if income drops or an emergency occurs. If most of your paycheck disappears just days after it lands in your bank account, you're far from alone. A recent survey found that 77% of American workers are currently living paycheck to paycheck, and this reality exists across nearly every income level. Even with a stable job, rising costs and growing debt can make it difficult to move forward financially. This common struggle often comes down to one issue: a lack of financial reserves. When every dollar already has a job assigned to it, there is little left for emergencies or future goals. The good news is that small changes can create lasting financial security. Adjusting spending habits, building an emergency fund, and managing debt strategically can help you break free from this cycle. Over time, these steps create breathing room and open a path toward greater financial stability. Learning how to stop living paycheck to paycheck begins with understanding how it happens in the first place. Many people assume that a higher income automatically solves financial stress. But that's not always true. Without a solid budget, a saving strategy, and a debt management plan, money tends to disappear just as quickly as it arrives, regardless of how much you earn. The key is taking control of where your money goes and making intentional financial decisions. A budget is one of the most effective tools for breaking the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. It provides a clear picture of where your money is going and helps identify areas where spending can be adjusted to free up cash for savings and debt repayment. Without a plan, it's surprisingly easy for money to disappear, leaving very little behind at the end of the month. The best budget is the one you'll actually use consistently. That's why it's important to choose a method that feels comfortable for you. Many people use spreadsheets, budgeting software, mobile apps, or even simple pen and paper. What matters most is that your budget is detailed, realistic, and easy to maintain. Start by listing all sources of income, including your salary, side hustles, freelance work, and any other earnings. Once your income and expenses are clearly outlined, the next step is deciding where your money should go. Prioritize essential fixed expenses such as housing, food, utilities, and transportation. Then identify opportunities to reduce spending and redirect that money toward savings and debt repayment. Remember, cutting expenses doesn't mean eliminating everything you enjoy. Even small adjustments can create significant results over time. An emergency fund acts as your financial safety cushion. It helps cover unexpected expenses such as car repairs, medical bills, or unusually high utility costs. Without this reserve, many people turn to credit cards or other forms of debt, making it even harder to move forward financially. Having money set aside for emergencies reduces stress and prevents short-term setbacks from becoming long-term financial crises. To build your emergency fund, start with a realistic savings goal. While financial experts often recommend saving 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses, reaching that target takes time. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, start small. Even saving $500 or $1,000 can dramatically improve your peace of mind and financial confidence. Debt is often one of the biggest reasons people remain trapped in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. High-interest payments can consume a large portion of your income, leaving little room for other financial goals. Eliminating debt takes time, but having a strategy makes the process more manageable and helps ensure steady progress. One of the most effective approaches is focusing on high-interest debt first, especially credit cards and personal loans. These debts can keep you trapped in a cycle of minimum payments that seem to last forever. Many people choose to use the avalanche method. This strategy involves paying off the highest interest debt first while continuing to make minimum payments on all other debts. Once the highest interest debt is eliminated, you redirect that payment toward the next highest interest debt, and so on. Over time, this approach reduces the total amount of interest paid and helps accelerate your journey toward becoming debt-free. With discipline, consistency, and a clear plan, the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle can absolutely be broken. A quick personal note. Before moving on, I want to be transparent with you. I'm not a financial advisor, investment professional, or certified personal finance expert. Everything shared in this video comes from my personal learning journey, research, reading, and study of personal finance, investing, and wealth-building principles. I spend a significant amount of time learning from books, articles, financial experts, and educational resources, and I share what I learn in the hope that it may help others on their own financial journey. Always do your own research, consider your personal situation, and seek professional advice when making important financial decisions. The goal of this channel is education, awareness, and encouragement, not personalized financial advice. Now, let's continue. If you've been wondering how to deal with the feeling that your finances are crushing you, know this. You are not alone. If the sight of a new bill makes your stomach turn, or if you spend sleepless nights wondering how you're going to make it to the end of the month, you're far from the only person experiencing this. Financial stress doesn't live only in your bank account. It shows up in your body, in your sleep patterns, in your relationships, and in your overall mental well-being. In high-cost cities like New York City, Los Angeles, or Las Vegas, this kind of stress is even more common. Money anxiety is real. And without the right tools, it quietly builds over time until your mind begins operating in permanent survival mode. We connect money directly to our sense of safety and survival. When our finances feel unstable, our nervous system reacts as if we're under threat. Because in many ways, we are. Unexpected bills, debt, or unpredictable income create constant worry and reactive decision-making. Financial stress can lead to sleepless nights, mood swings, and burnout. It can cause you to avoid budgeting or postpone important decisions. It can create conflict in your relationships and trigger feelings of guilt, failure, and hopelessness. Most people assume the only solution to financial stress is to make more money. But that's not the whole story. Real relief comes from creating a sense of control right where you are, with what you have today. So ask yourself, what is the actual problem you're facing? Are you spending more than you earn? Have your credit cards reached their limits? Are you behind on retirement savings? Or have you not started saving for retirement at all? Try to evaluate your situation objectively, without letting emotions completely take over. Look at your spending habits and savings patterns as if you were analyzing someone else's life. To help build your financial plan, don't be afraid to use the resources available to you. If your employer offers a financial wellness program, take advantage of it. Many American companies provide free access to financial planning tools, educational resources, or financial coaching. If you're struggling with significant debt and high payments while trying to rebuild your credit, consider reaching out to a nonprofit debt management organization. Many reputable organizations help negotiate interest rates and simplify repayment plans. You may also consider creating an additional income stream while keeping your primary job. Perhaps you can take on part-time work. Maybe you can freelance using skills you already have. Or perhaps you can sell valuable items you no longer use, such as a second vehicle, electronics, equipment, or furniture. But while you're making plans for tomorrow, don't forget to live today. Instead of obsessing over the darkest parts of your financial situation, take time to care for yourself. If you're feeling fear, shame, frustration, or anger about where you are financially, acknowledge those emotions. But also practice being kind to yourself. Look for signs of progress, no matter how small. Maybe your home has increased in value. Maybe your workplace retirement account, such as a 401k, continues to grow little by little. Progress is still progress. And here's something important to remember. Many highly successful people have gone through serious financial struggles at some point in their lives. Your net worth is not your self-worth. Never confuse the two. Avoid unhealthy coping mechanisms such as excessive drinking, gambling, emotional eating, or impulse shopping. Instead, go for a walk. Exercise. Meditate. Write in a journal. While these activities may not make you wealthier overnight, they can help you manage stress, make better decisions, and develop a healthier relationship with money. And that alone is a massive step toward long-term financial stability. If there's one message I hope you take away from this video, it's this. You are not bad with money. You are not broken. And you are not doomed to stay where you are. In many cases, you're simply overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by rising costs. Overwhelmed by financial pressure. Overwhelmed by the constant demand to make the right decisions in an increasingly complicated world. But being overwhelmed is not a life sentence. It's a signal. A signal that it's time to slow down, get clarity, and take control one step at a time. You don't need to fix your entire financial life this week. You don't need a six-figure salary tomorrow. And you don't need a perfect plan before you begin. Start small. Build an emergency fund. Track your spending. Pay down one debt. Learn one new financial skill. Then repeat. Because wealth is rarely built through one massive decision. It's built through hundreds of small decisions made consistently over time. If you found value in today's video, consider subscribing to my wealth guide and joining our growing community. Here, we're not chasing get-rich-quick schemes. We're focused on building lasting financial confidence, practical money skills, and long-term wealth. And if this video resonated with you, leave a comment below. What's the biggest financial challenge you're working to overcome right now? You never know who might read your story and feel a little less alone. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. I genuinely appreciate your time, your attention, and your willingness to keep learning and improving. Take care of yourself. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. And remember, financial progress doesn't happen overnight. But every smart decision you make today is building a better future for tomorrow. Until next time, keep moving forward. And I'll see you in the next video.